Hello and welcome to Is Dystopian Fiction a Thing of the Past? Because I was talking to my friend yesterday and she said she'd started the 100, which I had also started, and then gave up because I was annoyed by it, because it kind of did the same thing a lot of, or like a few dystopian things I've read did, which is present an evil and then go, aha, gotcha. There's actually a bigger evil out there, and you're like, please, this is annoying, or at least I was annoyed by it. And I haven't actually read any like dystopian things since I think 2014, 2015. So I was just wondering if that's something that's just not a thing anymore, or if I'm just not aware of it because I'm not keen of the genre in itself, because we kind of live in a dystopia anyway. But I know that like a friend of mine, she's really academically into like Native American literature, and I know that she read a couple of Native American dystopian fiction, and I've read her bachelor thesis and I've read a few of her term papers, and it sounds really interesting, so I might read that, because obviously the implications there are entirely different, because their real life dystopia started the second they were invaded by colonial powers. So yeah, that's something I was wondering, if dystopian fiction still is as popular as it used to be when kind of like the Hunger Games was at its height, and when you had what is it called, Divergent, Insurgent, Allegiant, which was, oh god, I hated these books, I hated them so much. And then you had the Maze Runner trilogy, which I never read because I think like Divergent just really put me off it. So yeah, I also really didn't like the movie. I actually used it as an example in my oral bachelor exam because I talked about adaptations. But yeah, anyway, today we're building a brownstone, or rather two different brownstones, because ages and ages ago, weeks and weeks ago, I was taking a walk with my friend, as one does, and she talked about some houses she saw, and she was like, yeah, they kind of look like these New York houses, you know? And I was like, I'm not sure, do you mean like Victorian houses? But in the end, we kind of found out that they were brownstones. So I've researched into brownstones because I kind of wanted to recreate it. It was also very interesting because I didn't really know that like brownstone is not stone. Well, it is stone, but they are actually kind of like a real brownstone is actually made out of brick and then covered by brownstone, so the facade is covered by brownstone, because during kind of like the heyday of brownstones, which was in the 1870s till the 1890s, it was just such a cheap material which could just be transported along the Connecticut River like super easily. But yeah, the after a while they kind of, first of all, went out of fashion, and second of all, in like the 1940s, like the Portland quarries were closed because there was a flooding, and since that was the main kind of source of brownstone, obviously the material suddenly wasn't cheap and easy anymore. So that is kind of why they went out of style. But yeah, so that's just a, you know, a weird bit of history on brownstones. So yeah, I've decided, because I couldn't decide what kind of style of brownstone I wanted to build, I've decided to do like a double, like joined brownstone. So the part with the bay windows, that's a Queen Anne style, and the other is a Romanesque revival, which basically means that, well, the Queen Anne is kind of like the most ornate of all the styles, but I didn't really decorate it as much, I have to admit, because it's a joint house. So I figured, you know, probably they kind of wanted to look similar, because most of the brownstones are kind of like townhouses and all in a row. But yes, the thing about Queen Anne houses or Queen Anne style brownstones is they are mostly kind of like asymmetrical, and they have a lot of like eclectic details, which I kind of, because of the nature of Sims and the nature of this build, kind of didn't really take into account as much. But yes, so that is just a bit on that style. They also have a lot of like gabled windows, gabled roofs with like dormer windows. Again, I didn't really put that in, just because it was like easier to build, and it was a long build in itself anyway. As you can see, the sole building of the video took me about, I don't know, it is 48 minutes in this, so at around the 48-minute mark, if you want to skip into the live game or like into the in-game, you can do that at like 48 minutes, but that means that I've built it like 8 times as long, or for 8 times as long, because I usually speed up the videos like with the speed of 8. That sentence did not make any lick of sense, but you know what I mean. They're sped up 8 times speed. So yeah, it took me a while, which is also why I didn't do all the like detail-y things. Yeah, and again, just like the Queen Anne, the Romanesque revival also has like an asymmetrical design with like Spanish influences, and they were mostly built towards the end of like the heyday of brownstones, so the 1880s and 1890s, while the Queen Anne were kind of like between the 1870s and the 1890s, so they spent over a bit of a longer period, and therefore obviously had more time to develop properly, and change their styles, and obviously become more eclectic, because they were just around for much longer and the style changed over time. So yeah, that's just kind of what I decided to do. And by the way, the stairs gave me a lot of trouble. So as you can see, I used the stairs sort of as features, more or less. I build rooms between stairs going up and down, and I try to use stairs as a way of separating rooms. And I looked up a lot of brownstones and was not really surprised, but also very surprised that some of them sold for like $5 million or $6 million or $7 million, which is just wow, so much money. But yes, I looked them up, and I looked at a lot of brownstones and what people had done with it, and some of them, you know, kind of put in a lot of like modern windows, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted the inside of the Queen Anne style, so the one with a bay window, to feel very modern and to feel very sleek, apart from the kids' rooms. But yes, most of it I wanted to keep very, very slick and kind of monochrome. But I didn't really want to change the style of the houses, because I was sort of determined to keep the brownstone look as much as possible without the like all the eclectic details and textures and colors and materials. Also because I wanted to go sort of against the nature, so to say, of the style, which is why I chose to do that. And when I furnished, I realized that I am so bad at furnishing and detailing and decorating teens' bedrooms. Like kids' bedrooms, fine. You just put in color and you put in toys, and then it's kind of like, okay, fair enough, this is a kid's room, it can look a little silly. But with teen bedrooms, it's such a fine line between them being like too childish and being too adult. And I'm not sure I managed to do that. I really found it hard. I really did. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm currently doing the kitchen. And as I said, I wanted to keep it sleek and modern and monochrome, which is why I went for sort of black and white, because that's the easiest, because at least the colors match mostly. And since I really adore these floor tiles, the black ones with the gold, I decided to use them, which then sort of limits your color palette in a way, because you can't really go in very well with like a light blues or something. So you're kind of more or less stuck with gold and maybe purple, and like reds and yellows and oranges, which also obviously makes it easier because you don't have this like vast choice of things to use and of clutter. And I decided to use the kitchen, the country kitchen cabinets, because I really like this sort of contrast between the very like sort of elegant floor tiles and the more country kitchen style cabinets, because they still fit in really, really well. They just kind of make it feel less like a showroom and more like an actual lived-in kitchen. So I'm kind of like, I'm really happy with that choice of cabinets, which is a weird thing. I've never really thought much about it before, but I did during that build. And also I really like the feature of the chimney, or the range hood, whatever you want to call it, because it's just such a pop of color in the middle of this very like dark kitchen, which obviously also doesn't have a very large window. It just has that one window which is covered by the curtain. But still, I don't think it looks kind of, it doesn't look too dark or too sad. So I'm quite happy with the kitchen actually. Also with the bathroom, but then again I think all my bathrooms look the same, because I have favorite items I like to use, and I just like using these showers, and I like doing like little feature walls in front of the showers to kind of have like a sort of like a rain shower feel in a way, like an open shower. There's only like 2 showers you can use as far as I'm aware, so yeah. But I always have like trouble decorating them because they tend to make my bathrooms too small, so you can only fit things in but you can't really fit decoration in, or I make them so big that I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with all of this space? Like, I can't really do anything with it, thank you. Then again, like, oftentimes you see that in like luxurious mansions you have what's it called? You have your bathtub like in the middle of the bathroom, and I thought about doing that at some point in like a different build, because here the bathrooms are all fairly small. Just because also like back in the day people didn't really have large bathrooms. I also have so much trouble with these like, what is it called? The like archway things with like outside walls. they always kind of slip down to like a small wall height. Yes, not like a medium height, and it's just, oh, it drove me so mad that I just decided to not do it and use an archway instead. And it kind of turned out fine. Like, I haven't playtested it yet, so I'm hoping everything works. And I just really adore this wallpaper from Paranormal. Yeah, it came with Paranormal. It has such nice colors, and I really do like it. I like a lot of the items that came with it, as you might have noticed in my latest builds. Because they are just, I don't know, they feel so nice, and I'm really into like I'm just in a very like purple and turquoise and teal mood as of lately. So I'm really thankful that all of those colors were in that pack, along with yellow, which is always a good color, because it's my favorite color. Or is it? Well, it's definitely the color I have the most. But yes, so the bathroom again, the bedroom again is black and white. But I did want to give it a bit of a pop of color. I had a hard time finding a bed for some reason. I wasn't sure which bed I wanted to use. All of them were kind of meh in a way. And I think I even changed that bed in the end because I wasn't happy with it. It's just, it didn't really fit with the aesthetic I had in mind. Not that when I furnish anything it actually has an aesthetic. I just always think it should have an aesthetic, and then it doesn't, because I have a hard time just sticking to a theme. But yeah, I just kind of, I do like how it ends up though, because it has like small pops of color which kind of liven it all up in a way, but it still looks very elegant, in my opinion at least. And I'm just such a huge fan of that mirror over the dresser. I just really like it. So I think I'm actually using it in like most of my builds in one way or another, just because it's so much fun and I think it's so pretty. Apparently I don't change the bed, or do I change it? I was so sure I would change it. Maybe I do later. But yeah, I think all of the houses, or both of the houses, have obviously a master bedroom. They have 2 kids' rooms. No, I think this one has a teen and a kid room and a study, and the other one has a study and a teen room, but I don't think it has a kid's bedroom, or what you want to call a teen bedroom, when I decorate it. Yes, I really like the Snowy Escape bookshelf. It's also very nice because you can place like clutter items on it very well and kind of tailor it more to the family and make it feel, yeah, more lived in rather than a show home, as I said before. Though usually with builds I do for YouTube, I'm most of the time building them kind of as show homes, because I don't know who will download these, and I don't know if the personality will fit the Sims who will move into it. Obviously you can always change it. Very welcome to just change it. Sometimes I build builds specifically for a friend of mine, and for her Sims, so then they have a bit more personality, but usually the things I build for my Sims, they don't end up on YouTube, because I just play them on like half my screen and then build on the other half, so I don't film them. But yeah, so we're moving on to the kids' room, where I had a lot of trouble deciding what I wanted the floor to be, because I wanted it to be kind of like fun and a bit eclectic, and just a bit, you know, colorful and weird and just kind of like there in a way. But but I had a hard time choosing a carpet for some reason. I think it worked out in the end. I actually really like the way the bedroom looks, because I really took my time with it, and I'm not usually fond of kids' bedrooms. I find them so hard. I don't know, just mainly because my Sims kids' rooms always look the same, and my Sims don't often have kids when I play. So yeah, or they have toddlers, lots of them. But yes, so I kind of wanted this kid to be creative, have a creative mind, which is why I end up using a lot of the things that came with Nifty Knitting. These I actually think the shelves also came with Nifty Knitting, but I can't remember right now. But these like creation stations, sort of, they came with Nifty Knitting, and I really like them. I barely ever use them because they are like a certain aesthetic, and if your house doesn't have that, it just looks really out of place. With some things you can get away with it, but with others you can't, not really get away with it without it being too weird. But I think with this build it did work, and it ended up being really nice and sort of just like the right amount of cluttered, rather than, you know, kind of trying too hard and sort of missing the mark. At least that's what I think. I don't know what you think about it, but the friend I've sort of built this for, she really liked the kids' room, so that's making me happy, and I'm very glad about this. Yeah. I just, yeah, it's just a fun little build. But that's also kind of like all I can tell you about this bedroom. I also realized that I hardly ever use posters. Like, I never put up posters in the Sims kids' bedrooms, even though I, as a kid, had like my entire walls covered in posters from like my favorite soap opera back in the day. Because I used to subscribe to that magazine, and obviously they had posters, and I just used kind of like most nooks and crannies to actually hang up those posters, and posters of like a pop stars band I really liked, who are actually having like their comeback right now, which is fun. They are reimagining their old songs, and I'm not that keen on them, but that might just be because my favorite member didn't rejoin them, and so I'm just slightly bitter about it. No, it's nice to listen to, but they obviously changed the music to kind of modern music, contemporary music, and it's just, it doesn't work that well. It doesn't conjure up the same emotions. Like, it has a bit of nostalgia, but not the right amount, if that makes sense. But yes, anyway, I am moving on to the teen bedroom, and I struggled with it so much. I'm still not sure I like it. I think I like the idea of it, but not necessarily the execution. But yeah, be my guest. Oh, my tea is strong. Note to self, don't let sage tea steep for so long. I didn't want to have more black tea. I already had like, I think 2 or 3 cups of black tea, and since they don't sell that brand in Germany, I can't get it. Well, obviously I can just buy it online from like Amazon or something, though I'm trying to avoid Amazon. But yeah, I can't just go to the shops and buy it, so I wanted to have sage tea, but it is very strong now, which is a shame. It's still nice. It's also in a sage green cup, so it makes me happy. It makes me feel more like a witch, which is always fun. Yes, so much for that. Yeah, because I wanted this to be like a teen's bedroom, going back to that thing, I kind of wanted to give them a sort of like a gaming area, like multiple screens and like gaming stuff and a TV and a laptop and just lots of, you know, gaming posters, because I remember that my brother, he also had a lot of like posters from games up when he was a kid, and bands he liked. But yeah, a lot of like posters that came with like special editions of games you bought in the shops, in the store. So I kind of wanted to recreate that a little bit, but still make it look a bit more grown up. And I'm not sure I succeeded, because I then decided that I wanted to bring in a pop of color. And usually when I decide, oh, this needs a pop of color, it just goes off the rails and I can't rein it back in. And it just sort of ends up being all over the place. But yes. It turns out that this is going to be quite red in the end. It's not bad, it's just something. It's just something. I think that's what you can say. But yeah, it's still kind of fun, and I'm sort of happy with the build, with the room itself, because it is different to what I would usually structure the bedrooms like. That's always a fun challenge, which is why I'm also kind of looking forward to the new game pack. I wanted to wait until it's 50% off, but now my friend has it and she's really excited about it. And I promised myself, okay, I can buy it after I have recorded this video. So that's what we're doing now. Recording it and then playtesting it. I might buy it before I playtest this house. Just because. Yeah. And then I might watch more of Schitt's Creek because it's a fun show, so I can really recommend it. It's a lot of fun. In Germany at least it's free on Amazon or Amazon Prime if you have it. I don't know how it is in other countries, but yes. Anyway, it's also Barricade Day today, so kind of like the Les Miserables fandom like holiday, more or less, where 80% of all the characters we love and adore died. And I've been writing for it for a while, and it's still not done, not because it's so much, but just because of who I am as a person. Yeah, so that's also a thing. Maybe I shouldn't buy the new pack yet. Maybe I should buy it tomorrow after I've actually finished the fanfiction. But yeah, so I don't know how I ended up having this room yellow, not yellow, orange. I think it's because there's orange cushions on the white, like, corner sofa. So I just kind of ran with the whole light blue and orange, and also because a friend of mine really likes the color combination of orange and light blue. It's always fun. Like, she builds houses and I'm like, yep, I can see that those are your houses. Then again, as I said before, my colors at the moment are like turquoise and teal and like purple and lilac. So she probably looks at my house and is like, yeah, fair enough. So, but yes, I barely ever use like this sort of wallpaper, so it was fun to use it in this build, and to also play around with the colors a bit, because I don't think I've ever used that table in my life. I think it comes from, does it come from the bowling night? It might. And I'm actually kind of, I really like it. I should use it more often. It is really nice. I don't know why I've never used it before. But yeah, it is kind of fun. I also wanted them to have like a really long, sort of like, not necessarily library, but just like a wall of books. So these like bookshelves really came in handy because you can just push them together and they look very nice, and even though they are turned around, and somehow the colors were weird and I don't know why. But yes, I think the sort of upstairs living room ended up being kind of like a good mixture of cozy and stylish. So sort of the thing where you go into someone's house and you're like, oh, okay, they put a lot of thought into this. I'd rather not, you know, mess anything up. Thank you. I will not touch this, and I will not necessarily feel comfortable sitting anywhere. So that kind of, I don't know, do you not have that? Because I had that a lot with a couple of like friends' houses when I was a kid. That some of their parents just had houses where you were like, okay, why is this all like prim and proper and so sleek, and I don't want to touch anything because I don't want to break anything or like accidentally get chocolate on your sofa. And that's kind of sort of what I went for with this whole idea of, okay, you know, they took a lot, they sort of like have a lot of pride in what they have. And while it is colorful in some parts, it's just also very important that it is neat and tidy and not too like cluttered. So that's just the vibe I wanted to give this entire house, or at least the Queen Anne part of it. The other part is going to be a bit more, well, I set out to build it, or to decorate and furnish it a bit more natural. I'm not sure if I succeeded. You can be the judge of that in a bit. It's also kind of fun how I've been talking for 30 minutes and we're not even finished with one half. And then it only takes me like 15 minutes for the next build, for the next house. And I don't know why that is. I didn't even put like less effort into it or anything. I think it really is because it only has one kid's bedroom, and the kid's bedroom just took me so long. So I think that is one of the main reasons why the other half of the Brownstone, the Romanesque revival house, didn't take as long. So it kind of has like a room less to furnish. Also, this house, as you will see in a little bit, is going to have a second living room because I still had space and I didn't know what to do with the space. I was like, okay, sure, fun. What am I gonna do? Yeah, exactly with that space, like in the downstairs. I didn't know what to do. So I kind of gave it a second living room. Because why not? You can always use a second living room, I suppose, if you're these kinds of people. Yeah, so I kind of, I do say I kind of, but yes, I wanted to have this very sleek. So just kind of, you know, the sort of people who really enjoy like thinking about what they are going to do and being able to afford the ideas they have, if that makes sense. That's sort of what I went for. And I also figured, you know, those are the kind of people who might have a fireplace. And then I was like, okay, I still have this otherwise very useless sort of landing down on the stairs. So why not use that one for a fireplace? So I did. And it worked out quite well, I think. I do like the platforms though, I really do. It's very, like, versatile in a way. Though then again, when I use them, I mostly use them to put beds a little higher or showers a little lower. So maybe I need to look up tutorials and see what else you can actually do with those platforms. Because I think you can do a lot. I mean, you can use them as stairs, obviously. Also, fun fact, did you know that brownstones, they do have stairs or like steeps? Because there was just a lot of like horse manure and horse poop back in the day. So that the horse poop wouldn't flood into your house. And that's why you had stairs or steeps going up. Stoops, that's the word, not steeps. Stoops. Not necessarily for like flooding or anything, but yeah. For horse poop. Though some say that it's actually because in New York, where brownstones are most prominent, there weren't as many alleys. So those houses were built kind of like brick to brick and wall to wall. So servants and people who delivered things kind of had to have a way to enter the house. And since there weren't any alleys, they would have had to enter the front, like in the front, and rich people who used to live in these brownstones didn't really want that, and that's why they have stoops. So they could kind of like build a place beneath, or like a doorway beneath the main entrance for like servants and tradespeople. So I think it's probably a combination of both. You know, you didn't really have like that great of a sewer system, probably. I don't know. I'm not very well versed in like the sewer systems of New York. I know more about the sewer systems of Paris, thanks to Les Miserables, obviously. But yes, so that's just a little fun fact on why they all have stairs. Which is, yeah, I kind of enjoyed learning more about brownstones, because I never really thought about them much, other than, oh, they look nice, and they look fun, but also they look boring. And then I found out how stupidly expensive they are. Yeah, it's just really like expensive. It's also expensive to restore them appropriately, because obviously you can't just cover it up, but yeah, actually restoring a brownstone is really expensive, so I'm not surprised that they are so expensive. So we've now moved on to the second half of the house, and I actually decided to leave the upstairs not as a living room, but as kind of like an artsy space, like an open space. And I talked to a coworker of mine about it, and she said, oh, there have to be lots of plants. And I'm like, yes, there are going to be a lot of plants. So this is kind of because of her that there's so many plants in this living room. And I think it's sort of like a weird location for a living room. I don't know why you'd actually have your living room like on the downstairs floor, right? You know, there's no, you walk down the stairs and you're in the living room. There is no room, there's no door, nothing. You just have the living room, and you actually have to walk through the living room to get to the bedroom, which is like weird because it's just technically this is a hallway, but I've decided to put a living room in there for whatever reason. But I think it works. I really like this room. It has nice colors. I like the layout. It's simple. Yeah, I don't know. I just really like it. I'm not sure how I feel about the kitchen though. Also, again, I haven't play tested it. I'm hoping it all works. It should work. I really wanted them to have a bar, and I figured if I use that bar, I can use the matching counters for it. And it did. I think it worked out. It is a much brighter kitchen than the other one. I also like debated if I should have used the like hallway living room space as a dining area, but I didn't really want to, because I thought it would be silly to have the kitchen and the dining on different levels. I mean, let's be real, Sims never really eat where they're supposed to eat anyway. So it doesn't really matter, especially if you have toddlers. I don't know what it is with toddlers and eating, but in The Sims, the toddlers don't ever eat where they're supposed to eat. Like, there is a perfectly fine chair right there, or a sofa in the room over. But no, the toddler takes the stupid plate and walks up 2 flights of stairs to sit on a cushion. And I'm like, please, child services called. Why are you doing this to me? I'm your mother. Please don't do that. Yeah, but that's just Sims for you. Anyway, as you can see, everything's kind of like warm in there. And then I was just there like, okay, but what am I actually going to do with the front room now? Because this is basically the entrance to the entire house, the entrance to the Brownstone. Like, what do I do? Do I do like a landing or what? I don't know. And I'm still not sure what this actually is. It's just a room which has stuff in it because I didn't know what else to do. Yeah. But we've moved on to the teen room now, which I also struggled with a lot. It had an awkward layout, and I don't think what I did with it was the cleverest thing. It did work out, like color-wise and everything. It has everything the teen needs, and I think it does look like a nice teen bedroom. It's just such an awkward shape. I don't know what I thought when I did that. Probably didn't think very much, just okay, we need to build around the stairs and I don't want to have 2 very small rooms. That was probably my thought process. But yes, I thought I can liven this up a little bit. Since this is like a house for creative people, why not have a bit more, you know, like color and warmth, and just have it be a bit more eclectic. So all of this is just sort of an assortment of color in a way. And all this like pieces of furniture, they really don't match. Like, none of these follow any sort of like theme or whatever. They don't have the same style or anything really. They are just there, which is fair enough, I guess. I still do like it. I'm not sure which teen bedroom I like more. I think this one, just because the shape was kind of a bit of a challenge for me, and I do like a good challenge. And I think this is the only bathtub I have in the entire build. So the next door neighbors in the Queen Anne house can't have a dog, unfortunately, or a toddler, because they can't bathe them. Yes. Because none of the bathrooms are big enough, because I didn't build them big enough. But yeah, so we're nearing the end. We've got like 4 minutes left-ish. 3. And I wanted to give them a proper study. Like a big study. With lots of books and just plans. Because that's what I told my coworker I would do. And I do really like how well the books in the bookshelf match the wallpaper. Because both of them have like a purple, well, the books, they kind of look purple. And the wallpaper is purple. And it weirdly matches. Same with the chair. It also has purple. And it just kind of made me happy that all of this purple just came together so nicely. So yeah. And I didn't really do much on the outside, I have to admit, because there wasn't a lot of space on that lot. Which is fair, because a lot of brownstones just were townhouses. So you wouldn't really have much of a garden space. But yeah, as I said, I wanted to keep this upstairs room very kind of like airy and open, and sort of like a creative space. So, which is why it has a lot of just like skill stuff in there. It has easels and the meditation board thing to get up that skill, and yeah, it just has like a lot of sort of like more or less random things and a lot of paintings. I don't know why, just because otherwise it looked so like dull and empty. So I just chucked a couple of paintings on the wall and, you know, called it a day basically. I'm not like, it's just a room. I'm not sure if I like it or not, but I think it's fun because it's just different from what I'm used to building. So yeah, that was kind of nice. But yeah, we've got about like half a minute left, and there really isn't much. I'm just chucking down like a top, thinking that okay, if they paint and there's paint splatters, the paint splatters won't get all over their floor. So that's nice and that's good and that's handy. But yeah, other than that, there isn't much left, just a couple of outdoor things. That's about it. So I'd say I'll see you guys in game. Welcome back in game. I have playtested it, and the only thing I had to change was in the kids' bedroom in the Queen Anne half. I had to change the little side table because it wouldn't allow her to get into the bed. But yeah, so here we are. Let's have a quick look into those houses. So we're gonna go with the Queen Anne one first. So you come in, here's the landing, and you can go upstairs or downstairs. Plans, you know, just a bit of decoration. You can already see downstairs sort of the second living room area. And if you go further into the house, there's your bathroom and the kitchen. So the bathroom, as we saw, is nothing special. Let's just go in there. Just, you know, a standard bathroom. Nothing special, nothing exciting. Just, you know, a wooden bathroom, I'd say. Fully functional, obviously. I've tried it. And when we go out, we can go into the kitchen. When we go in here, everything works just fine. That's the kitchen. Yeah, so everything's working, everything's good. And when we go out of the kitchen, we can get into the living area. And again, everything's working fine. And now, when we go down the stairs, we go into the second living room, or the downstairs living room, which is obviously very bright and pink. And when we go around the corner, there is the sort of like small study, which is cozy, sort of. Yeah, it is quite cozy. And it all works in here, so they can sit and no issues whatsoever. There's our fireplace. Where are we here? There's our fireplace, and we can go into the bedroom. It all works fine in here as well, of course. Like, there's no issues with this bedroom. And yeah, this bathroom also works fine. So they can shower here, no problem whatsoever. So that's this floor. There's nothing more here. Then yeah, when we go up the stairs here, come to the landing, and then we can go into the kids' bedroom, where, as I said, I had to change up a little bit, but not much. Yes, it's very colorful and bright in here, and I had to change the second table that was sitting there because they couldn't get into the bed. But yes, so that's all working. And if we go out of here and along this corridor, we get into the teens' room. They can sit everywhere just fine, so that's no problem. And if we look at the other side, I had to change the dressers around a little bit because they couldn't get up into the bed. But yeah, nothing major. And then again, the bedroom, the bathroom, all working. I wasn't sure with the toilet, but yes, it does work. And when we go up another floor, we are here. There we are. This little seating area with a little table lamp. See, it's just, I don't know why the colors are different. It's the same shelf, I don't know, but yes. And then we have this wonderful, colorful, very stylized or stylish living room area where they can sit and watch TV. And yes, when we go outside, it's just a small balcony. They can sit there. They can, grill easy as pie. And now we can swap over to this house, the Revival House, the Romanesque Revival House, which is a lot more open, I think. A lot more airy, at least in this area. And yeah, there's all the skill equipment, and that's about it. That's all we can see here. When we go downstairs, we come down here and immediately go here. So technically this only has like 2 doors. Off to the side, or like off to the right, we go into this teen room. Which is also fully functional, as is the bathroom. So that's all fine and dandy. The bathroom, as I said, works just fine. They can shower, they can bath, they can go to the toilet, and when we go outside again and into the other door, yes, there's the study. A bit more generous, a bit larger than the other one. A bit more purple. Yeah, I really like how well the chair matches the wall color. As well as the books, they also match the wall color. It's really nice. I do like it. All of these wood tones seem to work together. I'm just amazed. And again, we come down this set of stairs, this flight of stairs, and into the door, and have a woodworking table here, something to grow flowers, some storage, and then we can go into the kitchen dining area. Again, fully functional. I'm really liking these tiles and the wallpaper. I really, really do. So yeah, that all works just fine. And when we go here, we can go into the small bathroom, which again, nothing major, works. That's all there is to say. Yes, and when we go down the flight of stairs and end up in the living room. Here we go. So that's all working. As you can see, they can sit, watch telly, go around the corner into the master bedroom, which actually doesn't even have like an ensuite. It does not have a bathroom. No, can access the bathroom from here, which is also fully functional. So yeah, that is the house, my little brownstone, and I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed this little tour. I hope this wasn't too long.